Thank you so much, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister. I think it's very natural to go then from Kuwait to the Minister of Finance of Tunisia, Mr. Fakhfakh. Listening to the Deputy Prime Minister of Kuwait saying that there has to be a willingness to reform, it has to also accept a return on the invested capital. It also has to be welcomed. Then there are great opportunities for this region. It can even in the future become the new Asia if one gets and introduce the right policies. Is Tunisia, do Tunisia have the conditions that are necessary to also receive more investment from the GCC region?
Hope so, hope so. In fact, the transition period is very complicated to manage. We are dealing with a big paradox between give a very quick answer for social demand, for create immediately job, reduce the disparity between regions, and this is what people are waiting for immediately. And this can be possible only when the state play a big role and when we expand more. And this creates a deficit, and this creates lack, and this creates a challenge for the future. And this also push the government to start immediately the big reform to solve the structural weak before the revolution, but also the problem created after the revolution. And this is the second paradox. If the government of transition for 1 year or 1 year and a half are able to make such big reforms, to make alone such a big reform and to choose alone the new economic model. And in our case, for example, in Tunisia, but I think it's the same thing for all the country in transition, we are in coalition between 3 parties and they not share exactly the same economic model for the future. And this became more complicated. And this is why I emphasize.
What are the 3, what are the, is it?
2 parties, Social Democrat, and 1 party, Liberal and Conservative party. So altogether have to first deal with this pressure, this quick answer to solve and to have more stability, to expand more, and this destroy the public financial indicator for deficit, and in the same time start the reform and convince the financial institution, convince all the country who needs to help this transition and who want to invest. So this is only to say how much is complicated to manage a transition, and even if from we can imagine that it is a similar thing to manage a transition after revolution in Eastern Europe 20 years ago, or even now in Spring Arabic, and it is very different from country to country. But in any case, we return back for the fundamental, and I want to emphasize in what Mr. Stiglitz said, that the inclusivity is the main consensus, and inclusivity is let's say, the magic terms we use and we try to use in Tunisia, even to found the consensus for the political issues, but also, and more important, for the economic reforms we need to implement. And we took the decision to start the main important reforms in the banking system, in the fiscality, in the investment code, in the modernization of the administration. These are the main 4 pillars of our program of reforms. You know, Tunisia, before the revolution, was cited many times as a good student and with very good indicators, growth average of 5%, deficit low than 3%, 2.5%, also the inflation, quite good investment, private investment, around 22% of the GDP was the global investment, and 2/3 was private. But all this good indicator was not in phase with the aspiration of people and with the dignity of people, and we have a huge disparity between regions, and we irritate also a big unemployment rate, mainly for young people, reaches 30%. And this is why it is necessary to rethink and to rethink completely the model of economy. And we focus all in the private investment, how we are able to be more attractive, based in our own assets, in the good level of education, in the strong administration, little bit bureaucratic administration, which need to be more modernized, but we have a strong administration, and how to be more attractive for investor, and this is today the main important question we want to deal with, is how to reach a level of investment more than 26 to 27% from the GDP, how the foreign direct investment goes from 3.5 all last decade, 10 years ago, to at least 7 or 8. And these are the main strong objective we want to reach. And for this, we are working in the reform I said before. We start the reform to access for finance, to diversify the finance sector, to consolidate the banking system, push more people to go for the stock exchange market and enterprise, to simplify a lot the investment for the administration procedure, which are very complicated for investors. And these are our priority today.
Thank you.
In the meantime, we have 4 or 5 axes for our economy, which we want to consolidate and to improve, mainly for the industry, and we are one of the big site for automotive and airplane component industry, and we are working to develop and to be more attractive for this investment, and for agriculture and tourism. These are the main important sector we are looking to increase investment. Unfortunately, the situation in Europe is not so good to help the transition. Nevertheless, we are convinced in working with our neighbor and working as a door for the Africa and consolidate our partnership with Europe. We will succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Now